Okay. Carrie, this is Vince with Listings to Leads, and this is for the agents at Select Realty in Harrisburg. And so, what we want to do is talk about what Listings to Leads is. And what Listings to Leads is a large marketing platform for real estate. We have a number of tools designed to market listings. We also have a number of tools designed to capture listings, and we have a lot of tools just to help you get buyers as well. Before you log in, you can always, there's a button up here that says click all tools. And Carrie, I'm going to mute you for a bit. There seems to be some background noise. But you can unmute yourself if you got a question there. And I'll kind of pause and we'll get to. But this kind of shows you in a real flat format all the tools. So we have advertising for coming soon, just listed, open house, pending, and just sold. It's important to look at those because in most real estate advertising, it's not very consistent for an agent to say, I just sold something, and you may not be able to use coming soon. A lot of agents will operate on open house, but are just listed. Just to give you a quick example of what our tools can look like on Facebook. This is kind of what an ad looks like, and we're pretty solid at capturing leads with these, and I'll show you why in a bit. But when we look at like a just sold single property website, and I think hopefully this will show us really quickly, we have what are called, call to actions, right? Messages that say, hey, you should sign up and learn about this. This property is sold, and because it's sold, it's got a different value to the market. Many people who will look at this probably own a home. And the auto form that pops up on this property, because it's sold, says, hey, that's sold and that's going to affect your home value. And so people can get a free home value by just typing in their address here and clicking go. And that's one of the ways that we have to capture listing leads for you. Kind of from a different perspective, if we look at the same single property website for just listed, it's not talking about that because the home is just listed. So we're talking instead about, let's see the lead capture pop up. It's just, hey, continue to stay on top of this home. So it's just kind of a different message. I'm going to show you inside your account what things look like. But again, before we log in, I want everybody to understand that you can actually scroll down and you're going to see articles that we write. All right. And it's good to go there because what I'm going to do is show you the tools. If you use these tools, you can wind up with hundreds of leads every month or every week, right? It's just, we can see here, I'm going to click into this, that one of our clients used one of our tools and generated 118 seller leads in just a few days, okay, spending $104. If you're not familiar with Facebook advertising, and I know, Carrie, you are, it seems and looks like to us that it's about $1 a lead on Facebook. That's what we're sort of seeing across the country. Sometimes a little bit higher and sometimes a little bit lower. This is what the ad looked like. So we have it here in the article. So if you want to kind of look at that, down below is a little bit of description, but there's also some demographics. So we have that inside of our mastermind group, and that's a useful thing for you to know about is our mastermind group. And then down here is the video that covers that. And I just want you to be aware that there are a lot of articles here showing you how our clients are using this. But you can also just log in, and I think I'm logged into your account already. Let's see if I can get in there somewhere. There we are. So when you log in, you will have, as an agent, you'll log in and you can go to your listing section. And the listing section has all of your listings. They're auto swept into the system. And I'll dive into what's underneath there, what kind of tools we create for you, and then also how you actually manage this. But before we do that, we want to look at landing pages. And landing pages they're kind of a one-page website. And I know Carrie knows what these are. Hopefully you will start to leverage those. because we have landing pages for Property Valuation Plus, which is our #1 performing landing page for capturing listing leads. We have landing pages for nearby sold homes. You can create custom buyer and seller landing pages, empty nesters, growing families, other kind of, FISBO expired, things like that. And you can create custom ones. And a lot of our clients do, because you have a lot of unique things going on in your business and you want to capture leads, around that. So that's what you do. Sort of start there. We've also got a leads tab. Lead links is pretty important. I'll dive into that. That gets a little bit techie. And then, well, we've got agents here, but that's Carrie for you. What I do want to go to first is the profile, because there's a few things I want you to do in your profile. Let's see if I can get to here. So there's a section here. It says, contact details, right? That's kind of obvious stuff. But what I want you to know is, let's just say there's a couple spots here for alternate email. You might have an assistant that you want to send all the tools to. You can put their email address here, and you can say, put all tools to them. And there's some automated marketing tools that we create. You might have another person, maybe a buyer's agent working with you, and you want all leads to go to that person, right? So you can put all leads. And you can also do that with a CRM if you're using Follow Up Boss or something like that. And that's kind of it, for that page. Social media accounts, there are places in the tools where we'll put a button where they can connect to you. So if you've got a presence on Facebook, a business page you want to build, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, you put them there. And then at certain times you put them up. Your ID and password can be changed. Your ID is here. Your password can be changed here. Automation, you definitely want to make sure that you have the top 2 boxes checked in your profile. And that just creates a lot of the automation going on. Conversion codes is techie stuff. It has more to do with pixels, Facebook pixels and Google pixels. You do not need to worry about this if you're not thinking about it. Don't go and learn it. I think it's a little bit of a time sink, and the bulk of our clients have no idea what that is, so you don't need that. In a lead gen signature, this is pretty cool. There's an actual box here that you can copy and put into your email and have that be your own, your signature bar for your email. So every time you send out an email, you would have links in it, right? One might say search all homes for sale. One could say Harrisburg homes for sale. And these point right to your website. You've got something that changed here, Carrie. Central PA for sale has changed, so that's not working. Free home values is pointing to our landing page, and I'm pretty sure that's working correctly. And that's what the landing page is. So if you drop in your address, you can get a home value here. But that is, you can customize that, and then you can drive people. You can embed that in your email, and you capture leads there. Preferences is also a pretty important page. If you have Zillow reviews, check this box. We have some tools that can display those. Here is how you capture the leads. So if you want to enable Facebook registration, I definitely recommend that. You make sure that's checked. I recommend that you you can show a phone field. I never recommend that you require a phone field. So we definitely don't want to do that. There's something here that says forced registration. And I'm just not into forced registration. Scott, my partner, is. And I want you to know what forced registration is. Whenever you open up the single property website or the branded virtual tour, a lead capture page pops up like this. Now, I don't know if you can see it because you're looking at a computer and we're doing this all kind of online, but there's a little X over here on the top right. This allows me to close this page, okay? And if I had let's go back here, wherever I am. If I had forced registration checked, I would not be able to close that page. This page would pop up automatically, and I could not close it. So I'd have to fill this out or close the page. And for me, I would prefer that they can close that page and continue to look. And if they feel like it, they can give me the lead. That's your choice. We give you those choices inside on your profile section, in the preference section. Also, there's a property valuation source. So if I go look at my single property website here, let's see, I don't have a link here for home value. That's crazy. All right. Well, we've seen a few tools that have, what is your home worth kind of on it. And those tools, they come from two different, the values, the automated values come from two different data sets. One is Zillow and one is Onboard Infometrics. Now, there are some agents that hate Zillow and don't want anything to do with that, and so you can go right here and change it to Onboard. But I would recommend that you test out both. You open up a property valuation landing page and you run an address and see if that's right, if that's a good value. And then you change this and you test the other data source and you find out, if that's more accurate. That's just what you want to do. That's how you set up your preferences here, and you're kind of good to go. There is a section here, CRM. We are integrated with a few CRMs, so if you're using these, you can kind of set it up there. But there are many other CRMs that our clients use, and you would be able to set that up on the profile by just putting an email for the destination address. So that's setup stuff, right? So before I get into the listing section, which is the bulk of what we do here, I am going to jump into the landing page section. And I'm going to do the number one landing page that I think you should be creating. Number one is you should click this button right here, go to Property Valuation Plus, and click Add Landing Page. Now, Gary, I'm going to unmute you. And I'm hoping you are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So all you do is you type in Harrisburg, right? And it will automatically take you to the edit section of this page. And this is where I want to kind of caution you. You can create, Scott and I, we developed this. Scott's a bit of, he's a bit of a ADD kind of person, and his mind just keeps going, and he just keeps adding more and more things here. There's only really one thing I think you need to change on this page, and you can click through and do a lot of stuff, but I'm going to show you what's going on, and then I'll tell you a few other kind of highlights. But the point here is this is the background picture of what is your Harrisburg home worth. And this is too generic to be effective. The easy thing to do is go to the web and type in Harrisburg, PA. And Carrie, I'm not going to unmute you because there's a fair amount of background noise there. But I'm going to just click in here and go to images. Because normally I would ask you, what's the big landmark, right? What's the landmark in your area? I go to size, I go to larger than, and then I go to 4MP. And this is going to show me all the photos of Harrisburg, right? Ideally. And let's see here. You don't want to square. And this looks like an old Harrisburg, right? That's pretty interesting. So I'm going to save that, right? Now, you may not want to do that, this kind of old picture, but you could. But the point is we want a picture that's big enough, and that's what it's going to, that's what we're going to put in the back. What I want to point out is here, whatever you think is important for the background picture, that background picture is very important actually, because it's really conveying trust to people. And I set up an office in Summit, New Jersey, and Summit is, give me a second here, I'm getting these pop-ups. Summit is like a small town in New Jersey. It's got, 25,000 people, right? So you may have towns like that right around you. And I want to kind of point out that this, when I set up this office, They called me, 30 days later, say, Vince, we started running all the ads just the way you said. And the number one home valuation ad has this picture behind it. This is one of the oldest restaurants in town. It's on Main Street. And the point is, if you know this restaurant, you know Summit, New Jersey. And that's why people were responding to it. And I want to just share that with you so that you understand this is what you're really trying to do. You're trying to get people's addresses and contact information. And nobody wants to sign up for a national spam campaign. So it's on you to make sure that they trust that you know their area. So that's part one. Get the right picture, put it in the background. I downloaded it to my computer, so now I can go to my desktop and it should be there. There we go. And it just takes a second to pull up, and you click save. And then once it saves it, we can click here. We'll give it a second to do its thing so it doesn't look like I'm jumping around. Yeah. So I'm going to click view, right? And excuse me. And I want to show you now how this page works, okay? First of all, you type in an address right here in the center. It says, if I can get my mouse to work, put your property address. So I'm going to put mine in, and this works anywhere in the country as long as it's a residential property, not commercial. You click get the value. And when you click get the value, it says, great, here's a map, here's your house, right? And we do this again to build confidence for that person, right? So we've shown them a picture of their town now, and you type in the address, like, okay, well, we have your value on the right, your report is ready, and there's your house on the map. So that I feel like, okay, at least we're talking about the right thing, because now I'm asking, what is your email address, right? And you got to give up an email address and why, well, I'm thinking about selling or something like that, and click view report. At this point, you would now have the address that they put in, the value that they're looking at, and their email address. And you should immediately respond and say, hey, I saw you got a value there. Does that number seem right? Right? Does it high? Is it low? Have you done any improvements on your home? Have you changed your bathroom, stuff like that? Start the dialogue to get them in. That's conversion. So the point is, you get the address, and then it shows them the map, and it says, give us your contact info, and only then will we give them this value. But I want to point out that many people would be happily give you the address. But 90 to 80% of those people that give you the address would rather leave the page than give you their email address, right? They'll give you their home address, but they won't give you, they don't want to be spam, they don't want to be contacted in a way. So we do have a tool, and Carrie, I don't know if you have it, but agents can sign up. It's called a partial to full lead converter. The office can sign up too. And it's the Cole conversion, it's a Cole information system. And what it is, it's kind of like an online phone book of homeowners. And when somebody gives you the address and just walks away, we reach into that phone book and deliver it directly to the agent. So if somebody's really in the mode of building a listing business, this can be really, really useful. So I just recommend that.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself briefly because we were supposed to be on the partial to full as the
Office
as the office, yeah, and then we were contemplating adding the text IVR.
Yeah, so I'll get that switched around.
No problem. I just wanted to bring that
Thanks.
up, and I just put you on. I plugged in my handset. I don't know if that's helping to minimize the noise or if it's making it worse.
No, it sounds great. So stay on there.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you got questions, just throw them right in. I want to go back into edit for this property valuation landing page one more time. Actually, it's over here. Um, because there are a couple of things that you might want to think of. And the one section I'm going to click is form fields. Now, this is Facebook registration. And I want to just be clear. Let's see if I have an example of Facebook registration. Let's see if I can go to single property website here. And when a page like this pops up, this button here says continue with Facebook. That's what we call Facebook registration. There's also a little link underneath it that says use your email instead. Now it looks like that, right? But when you're trying to get buyers, this button here is awesome. Continue with Facebook. We see this being very powerful. When you're trying to get sellers on home values, this button here, Facebook registration, is kind of disastrous. It just kills your lead gen. So I recommend.
Oh, that explains it. Okay, because I've been running Facebook ads at about on buy side. I've been using Facebook registration on both. I've been averaging 14 cents per lead on the buy side and 56 cents on the sell side.
That's great.
That would be why there's a disparity, because I've been using Facebook registration on both.
Well, so I don't think those two numbers are kind of correlated. The price per click or price per lead, Facebook, they know that if you're trying to get a listing lead, it's more valuable, and so it is priced higher. It's always so for me. When we look at the cost of buyer leads, it sounds about like 20 cents, 25 maybe across the country. When we look at the cost of a seller lead, it's like $1, right? But what I don't see, but what is not the factor is that Facebook registration button. The point of the Facebook registration button is if you present this on the lead capture of a property valuation page, like that, people won't respond. They won't fill it out. Now, I don't think that's going to affect your price per lead. It just means you're going to get far fewer leads. So what I recommend on the form field, you don't use Facebook registration. The first page is the basic, what's your address? If we go to up here to page 2 instead of page 1, these are the form fields. We kind of suggest, you could add more fields. You could add, I want their name. I really just think all you want is their email address, especially because we're going to get you on that partial full lead converter. This is just great. Just have the email address. And that's really where that comes in. When you use Facebook registration, people do not respond well to that. So I don't recommend using that.
I got you.
Okay. That's how you create the page. That's really all I think I want you to look at or to know. Let me go to advanced options. There are some things up here. Autoresponders up there. This is just, you don't even need to worry about this. Yeah, this is, I would not get into that. But at this point, this page is ready to run an ad. Carrie, are you training the office? You want me to run through how to run this ad on the internet right now on Facebook?
If you have time.
Definitely have time. All right.
Okay.
So before I do that, I'm going to go over to Alexa, which ranks top cities or top websites in the country. And this is my plug for Facebook. Facebook is the number 3 website in the country. And this is why you want to be using tools like ours on there, because they are there for a long time. And here it says the daily time is like 10 minutes a day. Facebook will tell you, and I tend to believe, it's about 40 minutes a day. People are on Facebook a lot. And so with that, that's what makes this so powerful, is when you put it on Facebook. And so you do need a business page. It takes about 60 seconds to set up a free business page. You'll want
Mm-hmm.
to create, your own name as maybe you, the realtor. One thing I recommend when you're setting up a business page, especially in real estate, your name is not it's not the driver. It's real estate. It's Harrisburg. Maybe it's other towns in your area, but it's not necessarily that you are the realtor. For that to make it effective, if I searched in this box on Facebook, which is what a lot of people do, if I'm looking for property in real estate, I might type in Harrisburg, right? Um, and then all these sort of things would come up, and might be that it's your Harrisburg real estate page. And that's why you want to have like the geography in the name of your business page. Maybe it's Harrisburg luxury properties, things like that. Most agents think it's me, the realtor at Select Realty, should be my business page name. And I just don't, unless a lot of people know who you are and are going to go to Facebook and start looking for your name, I don't recommend that. But once you have that business page, you click here, you go to create ads. And there are two kinds of ads that I recommend everybody run. And Carrie, my guess is you're just doing this automatically, but I am going to state it. For the basic agent, for just an agent, and this is like a beginner agent, like you got your license, you don't have a big budget, and you have no business. What are you going to do? My recommendation is that you run an ad every weekend driving to a page like this for $30 for 3 days. And like I said, because a seller lead is about $1, you probably get 25 to 35 seller leads that weekend. So if you do that every weekend, you're talking about 100 listing leads. You will have to get good at converting leads, right? But that's really what, I recommend here. Also, every week, you should run a $20 ad. And that should be on a property that's just listed, or an open house, or pending, or just sold. They could be your own properties, or they could be properties that you borrow from the office, for instance, if you guys do that. And what that does, when you run a $20 ad, and we'll do that together here in a few minutes, probably 2,000 to 3,000 people are going to see that. If you're a newer agent, or even if you're an agent that's been around for 5 or 10 years, if you don't know about the internet and you're not like a massive, internet guru and you can get your name out there, nobody really knows you're a realtor except for your friends and the few people you've handed a card to. So the whole point of that is a $20 ad can get your name and your business page seen 2,000 to 3,000 times for $20. They can click on it and they can look at all these links. They have multiple ways to capture leads. And then on the weekend, for $30, you say, hey, now get your home value. And the more often that you run property ads like this, the more results, the higher results you're going to get on the ad like this, which is the listings. Okay. So I want to copy this hyperlink at the top of the page now that it's customized in the way I want it. And I want to point out that there are a number of objectives. And Carrie, I'm sure you know this, but just in case, every time you run an ad with our tools, you should click the button that says traffic. Even though lead generation or engagement or conversions might mean something to you, traffic is where it's at. You want to create a campaign name. I'm going to call it value, just so that I can see this, Harrisburg, and then the date, right? I recommend you do that. Nobody sees that, but like I said, you're going to be running an ad, hopefully at least twice a week. And when you do that, you're going to have this big ad manager with a bunch of ads that you can look at later, and you want to know, what are people clicking on? Is it these towns? Is it this price point? Is it open houses? Is it just sold? You just start to see what's going on, right? So here is another thing. And Carrie, since you said you've been running ads, I don't know how you're running them, but I want to point out what I would recommend. In the location, first and foremost, and I know you're doing this, type in Harrisburg Pennsylvania. Okay. And you can click on the little blue thing and it says, great, here's the radius. Harrisburg plus 25 miles. Now, you don't want to do that because this page is only talking about Harrisburg. So you want to say in current city only. And it says, okay, great. Now, there's also something that a lot of people ignore, this drop down. You want people who live in this location. And I think that is about it. So I'm going to click here. I don't want 18-year-olds looking at my ads. So I'll put whatever my bottom age is. Maybe it's 30 years old, something like that. And that's kind of it. So we scroll down. That's about as far as I go. And I know a lot of people get into detailed targeting. Most of our clients don't know what in the world that is, and they get huge results and get business by just not worrying about it. There's a big
Yeah, I've been using zip code actually, because I've targeted specific school districts and I've targeted specific counties.
That totally works. Yeah, zip codes can work. And so, I don't know the size of Harrisburg and the adjacent towns, but for instance, if we said Los Angeles, right, we are in a big town, there's a lot of zip codes there.
Totally.
There are some areas of LA where you really want to build business, and there are other areas you don't want to drive in. So you can certainly target with the zip codes and still have this page say, what is your LA home worth, right? So you may have a situation like that in these areas, and you're right to do that, Carrie. But a big place here, this section here, placements, is I think an area where a lot of agents fail to understand. And it's important when we are trying to capture listing leads with this page that we do this correctly. You need to click edit placements. And Carrie, do you do that? You need to change this.
I have not.
Okay, so I'm going to point this out, and this is another reason why you might not be getting the results that you want. When you're trying to get listing leads, you don't want to use the recommended placements, which means what recommended means is it's on mobile and on desktop. When you're trying to get listing leads, I recommend you always do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I recommend you do it on desktop only. Now, then it says right column. I actually don't like right column ads, so if you don't know what a right column ad is, let's just go look at Facebook real quick. And it's always, I got to give a caveat here, it's always a bit of a crapshoot. You never know if it's going to be G-rated on my page or what. Because of my crazy friends. But your ad shows up right here with this big lion face is in the middle. That's where your ad shows up. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. But on the right is a column over here of boxes and weird stuff. That's the right column. And we have seen that ads do not work out there. So I just deselect that. Okay? It's going to be in the feed. And the feed looks right here. This is the feed. Okay? So close a couple pages here. Let's move down. And the budget is something that I recommend you always change to lifetime. Did you know this one, Carrie?
Yes, I have been doing daily. I just end up resetting the lifetime periodically.
Yeah, so I want to explain to you why that is important. Let's see here if I can do this right first. Cool. Yeah. So this is how I like to set up an ad for a seller lead, and then we'll talk about that lifetime budget. I recommend you always start this on Friday and end it on Monday. For here, I got $30, and I recommend that for any agent. The minimum ad spend on Facebook is $5 a day. This is roughly $10 a day. But as I said, we see seller leads costing about $1 a click or $1 a lead. So if you put in $30, you're going to get somewhere around 30 leads, seller leads, by the end of the weekend. If you don't and you get 2 or 3, well, you got to look at this video because you've done something wrong, and I'm showing you the things that people make mistakes. We have clients, and let's see here, and where I'd really like all of you to go is right here. I don't know if you can see this, Carrie, but this guy just sent us an email in April, and we get an email like this probably once a week, which is, I spent $100 on a Facebook ad and had it run for 4 days, and I have 100 leads. Okay, and then of course he says that would cost him thousands of dollars in other places. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make is, if you put in $30, you're going to get around 30 leads. If you put in $100, you're going to get around 100 leads, and that's now. Some of your towns may be really small, so it may be hard to pull out 100 leads, but that's how it works. Lifetime budget, and we've actually spoken to folks at Facebook. We had a call with them last year, and they told us that, lifetime budget means, the only thing we understand is that they place your money at the best and most opportune time on Facebook. When you put daily budget, it just says, put $10 a day, or whatever your budget is. But let's imagine you run this ad on the weekend, and you might wonder, and occasionally I get the question, when's the best time to run an ad on Facebook? And I don't know the answer, right? But I do know I've had a little bit of message from clients, and they said, it's really weird, like Sunday morning between 5 and 7 a.m., we get a ton of listing leads, right? And that's just like anecdotal evidence. But these guys at Facebook are pretty smart. They got a lot of metrics. They got a lot of analytics and algorithms, and they know exactly when the bulk of the people are on their website. And if you use lifetime budget, they shove the money in there when the people are on their website the most. And that makes it easy for you. You don't have to think it, just use lifetime budget. Excuse me. So when you get here to this section, you're creating the ad. So you want to make sure you're using your right business page. And my real estate one fell off, so I'm going to use my healthy eating one. I recommend you always use single image ad. And just to be sure, it defaults you to carousel, and we have seen carousel get 0 results. Single image tends to do the trick. And then down here, there's a red box, and it wants to know what website do you want to drive traffic to. And we copied the URL, and you put that in there here. And we copied the URL here, and we pasted it in right there. And once you do it, you can maybe see there's a little thermometer over on the right. It's kind of doing its thing. It pushes a picture right there, right? The kind of thing that we just did. But it gives you some default language that you need to change. One, it says, what is your Harrisburg, right? That makes no sense. So I'm going to change that over here and type free Harrisburg home values. And you will note that when I make that change in this box, it shows up over here under the photograph. Here, recent home sales have affected your home value. This is default language. It's close to useless. I'm going to give you 2 lines that you can always write, and you will get results. It's something like this: 30 homes sold in Harrisburg last month. The high was, I don't know, right? 800K. You know what these numbers are. I don't know. I'm just pulling them out of the air. But the real money-making line is click here to get your automated online home value in less than 15 seconds. And the real money maker, free. Actually, you can't put 2 exclamations, they'll block you. And this is a powerful statement, right? Because you're saying, hey, here's, homes are flying and here's the high price. But that second one about get your automated online home value in less than 15 seconds, it's telling me a bunch of things. Well, one, it's free. We all love free. We're all ADD today, so 15 seconds will work. And because it's automated and online, it's code for I don't actually have to talk to you. I'm going to get this instantly. And that's why people love instant free stuff. And if they own their home, they will click on an ad that looks like that. So at this point, you can go down here and click confirm, and Facebook would say we're going to review it, and then they make it live, and then you get at the end of the 3 days or 4 days or however long you ran it, you're going to get a message from Facebook that says congratulations, you've had a successful ad on Facebook. And all that means is you succeeded in giving Facebook money. It does not mean you succeeded in capturing leads. And that's where I want you to understand things that go wrong. And the first thing is your picture was really weak. The second thing was your language was very weak. This is not a weak statement. This works. And there are many others. And Carrie, you probably have a bunch of great ideas of what works. So I recommend you share that with your team. When we go back to ad set, which is the previous page, let's see if I can get there. The number one thing that I think people make a mistake on is placement. And they keep it on mobile. People see the ad on mobile, but then when they click that page and they have to fill out all those buttons, they don't like doing that. That's why making it desktop only is what works. Those are really the only mistakes that you can make. If you ran this the way I just showed you, you'd end up with a bunch of listing leads. Okay?
Oh, excellent.
Does that make sense there?
Very much so. I mean, I've largely been doing everything with the exception of the ad placement was the one mistake I've been making.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good. Yeah. So that's the number one tool. That's what, I'd say 10 to 15 people sign up on our website every day to get that one page. For all of your agents, they can create this page for every town they're building their business in, right? And that alone is a great value. Carrie, you probably know this. To get one page like this from any other competitive company is $60 a month for one page. Your agents can have 5 or 10 of these. They're probably building their business in various different areas. They should create a unique page for each one of those areas and drive out through Facebook the way I just showed you. But they should also be leveraging Facebook with properties, and so I'm going to do that a little more quickly. Before I get into how this whole page works, I'm just going to jump over to you got a listing right here, Carrie. I'm just going to get the listing landing page, and it looks like this. And this is a tool that I would definitely recommend if you have a home that is coming soon, just listed, or active or open house. This page is what I would recommend you use. Copy the link. And I'm going to do this a little bit faster, even though my internet seems to be slow, and I don't know why it's slow, but... Well, I don't know if I'll actually do it again, because my internet is feeling slow. But the point here is, the difference is, when we run an ad about a property, everything is the same except when we set the town. Remember the first thing you said you use zip code, and I just typed in the name of Harrisburg. The difference is you want to allow Facebook to show that radius. Maybe 10 miles out works. Maybe it's 20 or 25 miles out. When you say I've got an open house, you want a lot more people to see that. The other thing is the placements. You want it on mobile and desktop now. You want everybody to see that this home is for sale. And more importantly, you want everybody to see that you are a realtor. And so if you're borrowing a listing, or if you're not borrowing a listing and it's your own listing, you still want to run the ad in sort of the same way. You want to use traffic You always use traffic with our tools. And yeah, something's just a little bit slow, so that's why I don't want to step all the way through this again. Um, but your audience, you can now spend $20 on it. You can have it run for 4 days. Um, and let's see if I can actually get there, if this dumb computer will navigate. Yeah, I got to start over. I know I'm starting over. Great. Okay, so it's not going to be called traffic. It's going to be called, let's just call it open house Harrisburg, right? And then the date. And that, only you see that. Nobody else sees that. But what I do want to show you what I'm kind of talking about, which is how you set up the location. And I think, Carrie, people probably drive 25 miles in your office. Is that right? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's probably pushing the extreme in some directions.
Okay. I hear you. I'm going to just type in Harrisburg, and I'm going to show you how to adjust that. Now, this time it can be everyone in the location, but instead of making this current city, I can say, you know what, I'm just going to go out 20 miles. And that's going to kind of shrink it to that area, right? Or I can say, oh, I just want to drive this over here to 10 miles. And it really kind of cuts that radius. You're reaching fewer people. You don't want 18-year-olds to look at this. And from here, your placements can be automatic. Your budget should always be lifetime. And it's not going to go out a month. I'm going to just have it run for 4 days. All right? Oh, but don't have a $350 ever. Don't go on that. But I do want to point out what happens. So it now says I'm putting $20 on here. And what this is telling us in the box, I'm going to mute you there, because this is kind of an important piece. And you can unmute it, Carrie, when you're ready. For $20, all the people in this area, 10 miles within Harrisburg, 490 to 2,300, so let's just ballpark that and say about 1,500 people will see this every day. So that's about 6,000 people are going to see you're a realtor associated to a property for $20. And if you think about that, that's a really great investment of $20. That around 6,000 people are going to see that you're a realtor. That to me is kind of impossible to do, and that's what makes Facebook so powerful. So with all that, I recommend that you are running an ad once a week for $20. Get your name out there. 5,000 or 6,000 people are going to see you, and then every weekend you say, hey, now get your home value free. Click here, right? That's the Facebook strategy in a nutshell. Any questions there, Carrie? I know I muted you. You can unmute yourself, please.
No, I think it's been very informative. Now I have a better idea of how to set up the individual other ones to go after, like for sale by owners, expireds, etc. So
yeah.
No, it was helpful because I'm going to be hopefully a resource to the agents after they watch this video. We'll be brainstorming, what's working and what's not,
cool.
Locally. But no, I appreciate your time. It was very helpful.
Do we have more time, Carrie? Can I go?
I am kind of running down because I have a call to be on in about 7 minutes.
Okay. So let's schedule another one, but I'd like you to know how to use this page, and I'm going to just tell you real quickly in 3 minutes what I'd like you to know. This is an open house. You want to take advantage of these statuses, so make sure your status is active, pending, or just sold. In this case, it's open house. And once you get your status right, click on tasks and go through the entire task list, right? And you can easily do that. The first obvious one is click this green button. You want to use the listing landing page for this property. And so you want to go through that task list. I won't drag you through it. But what's cool about open house is there's a kind of the ticking time bomb scenario there on the page. So it really helps in getting you leads. But instead of me going through it, I will point out this. Over here on the right, you can't see it on the screen. You can see I've highlighted it. It says questions. There's a light bulb. Click that, and that will show you all of the steps to take to market that open house right there on the page. Okay. So everything is right there to help you do that. um, and the last thing before I let you go, please have all, I'm going to put this recording up online. Have all of your agents join our mastermind group. It's a secret group for our clients only. And when you're talking about mastermind, there are so many ideas. Here's July 7th. This agent is saying, this is my ad, this is how many I reached, here's how much money I put in, this is how much I'm working for me. Okay? So you don't have to brainstorm that hard, Carrie. Our clients are awesome in that they come and share all the time what they are doing with our tools. You can get a lot of great ways of leveraging our tools on the internet. People just over and over are putting this kind of content. Okay?
Oh, absolutely. Would we be able to maybe shoot 2 weeks out at about the same time slot?
Sure.
Because I want to be able to start putting some of this into practice.
Sure.
And then as we get some collective results, then we can go back and build on where we are.
Happy to do that.
Excellent.
Okay. I'll let you go, Carrie. I'm going to put this up online. I'm going to send this tutorial to you with the instructions that you should share with your agents on how to get into the mastermind group. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time, Carrie.
Hey, awesome, Vince. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yep.